What's up everybody, Matt Maran here for another My Week With video. So this week I've been driving the 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid Max. This is the Platinum fully loaded one. It's just under $60,000. And I was really impressed with it on my first drive in Hawaii, driving the beautiful roads of Kona. It left a very good first impression. And I'm happy to say that now after living with a Grand Highlander for a week, and especially this Hybrid Max version, I think I can actually comfortably say now this is my favorite three-row crossover in this segment. It is that good for a variety of reasons I'll get to. And it wasn't all perfect. I'll get to some of my other complaints towards the end of the video here. But as far as the good stuff goes, it's just so insanely smooth and comfortable and relaxed feeling to drive. And in this segment, I think I would reason a bet that is, what 99% of the buyers in this segment are looking for. And this delivers that probably, I'd say, better than basically everything else. So the reasons why it's better than everything else, in my opinion. So first off, especially with the Hybrid Max here, it's the most powerful in the segment. It has, the same kind of horsepower you're getting from the fancy Turbo S version of the new Mazda CX-90, but this has even more torque with 400 pound-feet thanks to that hybrid assistance. And it's just so strong feeling that it's always got enough power. And even though it's running through a 6-speed automatic, it always was ready to go, was always in the right gear. It always had the electric assistance to give me instant shove. So I'm just cruising here at 30 miles an hour, I'm going, and it's instant, like right there. And in the Mazda CX-90 I just had a few weeks ago, it was like 1, 2, 3, then it would downshift and give me the power. And so to have that instant power here in the Grand Highlander really feels good. And again, that is exclusive here to the Hybrid Max as far as having this much power. But as I said already in my regular Grand Highlander review, all versions have really solid amounts of power, but this one is, extra powerful and feels really good. And so especially if you're someone who, might really like the CX-90, but you might not have the patience to deal with that vehicle's transmission, which is a little rough and a little confused at times, I really think that this is actually the best powertrain in this segment, and I absolutely love the way they did the Hybrid Max here in this. Beyond that, it's also just really smooth and quiet still. So while you like the CX-90, which again is one of the more luxurious ones in this segment and one of the newest ones, so I'm going to be referring to that a lot, that's very focused on trying to be like a entry-level luxury model and even transcend the mainstream class of vehicles here. But even that has a rougher ride than this does. This is really set to be so smooth and soft and comfy, and that is so nice whenever you're just carting around the family. And again, if you're not an enthusiast that's trying to tear up a back road, this is going to hands down be the nicer driver on a daily basis compared to the CX-90, in my opinion. I mean, I'm an enthusiast. I love good handling vehicles, and the CX-90 does handle better. But for the use case of someone who actually uses one of these things and buys one of these, this is hands down the better way to set up a vehicle like this, in my opinion. And I think it did a really good job with that. It's also, nice and quiet in here too. It has, active noise cancellation, but also has acoustic glass here for the front and side glass here for the front windows and the windshield. So, I mean, that's also really great. And I just found that it was just a very peaceful, tranquil driving experience, whether it was the smooth ride, the nice light steering, the quiet, nature of this thing. It all felt great. I didn't feel as stressed waiting for a downshift like I did in, not only the CX-90, but even the Honda Pilot had a confused transmission. It was kind of annoying. This is just, it always gave me the response I wanted. It always just was satisfying to drive. And again, that's not a given in this segment. Now, there's the Telluride and the Palisade, which are fine, but I think that this even is a little bit smoother than those. And the powertrain in this, I think, is even a little bit smarter and obviously better on fuel economy as well, which is good, but also one of the slight downsides I'll mention in a few minutes here. But other things that I really loved about this, though, were the nice soft seats and just the great visibility, the great maneuverability here, having the cameras and all that. It just was a very easy vehicle, very manageable, and just, visibility I think is a little bit better than some of the other competitors out there as well. And it's also really nice because this is one of the most spacious competitors in this segment, if not the most spacious. And so that means that, you had plenty of space for grocery runs, even with that third row up, plenty of space to fit anyone in this thing. And it was just a very nice vehicle. Everyone that hopped in this was great, was really happy with it, and I was just really impressed with it. But there were a few things that weren't the best here in my week. The first is that in this vehicle in particular, the brakes feel a little wooden, and I mean that as to say, whenever I'm leaning on the brakes, it takes a good amount of pressure before they start to bite. It just feels like there's not enough brake fluid there or something. And that's, I think, unique to just this in particular vehicle, because the other 3 Grand Highlanders that I drove on the launch event, a hybrid max, a regular hybrid, and a regular gas one, all had great feeling brakes, nice and responsive, nice and grabby towards the top of the pedal there, and felt very reassuring. This one this week just felt like it was a little bit weaker with the braking power. I'm just thinking that's just a glitch or something messed up with this one in particular, but I just wanted to mention it and throw it out there nonetheless. Make sure, you test drive one of these, make sure the brakes feel good, because they should feel really good, and if they don't, then maybe it has, whatever thing this one has going on with it. But, it still was totally fine, totally sufficient braking power, wasn't any kind of major issue, just a slight difference in feel that I felt there. Another little minor thing that is just a little glitch, but this is something I've actually noticed with a few other vehicles, is this Toyota digital gauge cluster is really great, really customizable. I talked about it in depth in my original review, and we talked about it in the interior review as well. But it for whatever reason, the second that I pair my phone to Apple CarPlay, it takes away that little map view in the middle there for some reason. I don't know if that's just a glitch or why that's happening, but it just means that the nice little map view you're supposed to have there in the middle of the gauges, you don't have, and I haven't had it most of the week. It came on briefly for 1 second in the middle of the week and then went away again. So I don't know what's up with that. Make sure that works if you're buying one of these as well. But those are the only 2 little minor glitches here that I've encountered here this week. The other thing though that I did want to talk about is my fuel economy here over real world driving circumstances. So the thing with the Hybrid Max here is, yes, it is a hybrid, and yes, it is more fuel efficient and also has more power. So it is kind of like the best of both worlds, but the fuel economy was a little bit below what it's rated at. So during my week of driving here, I've been getting 23.8 mpg, and these are rated at 26 mpg in the city and 27 on the highway for the Hybrid Max versions. So I am, too shy of that city rating. I was doing mostly around town city kind of driving, just suburban back roads kind of stuff. And so the thing with the Hybrid Max is that, it always has the rear motor going. So it has a continuous all-wheel drive system that is always moving those rear wheels. Whereas if you go for the regular hybrid, it's going to be front wheel drive most of the time and just disconnect that rear e-motor. This doesn't do that. This is always driving all 4 wheels to some degree. And so that means that battery pack has to constantly be topping off that rear e-motor because there's no physical connection from the gas engine to that back end. So that's going to hurt your efficiency a little bit. But again, I'm still getting basically 24 mpg when a comparable Telluride, Palisade, Pilot, you name it, they're all going to be getting about 18, maybe 19 if you're lucky. So this is a good, I'd say 4, maybe 5 mpg better than those, and you have way more power than those have. And so, again, it is really truly the best of all the worlds, but just a little disappointed it didn't hit that city rating. But still, if you want the best fuel economy possible in this segment, it's great that Toyota also offers the regular hybrid, which does have a good bit less power, but as I found during my time driving that back in Hawaii, it was still really a good amount of punch, still should be totally sufficient for the average buyer in this segment, and that'll hit 34 mpg. And so if you want the best fuel economy in this segment, game over. That's going to be the way to go. You have tons of space, tons of efficiency, and really no compromises there. So that's going to be, a solid option as well. Unfortunately, though, you can't get the regular hybrid with this fully loaded platinum trim. And so, aside from that, though, I've just been really impressed with it this week. Those are my only minor little complaints, and the first 2 might just be glitches to this, specific vehicle. And the fuel economy, like I said, is still really impressive for this segment. But so yes, at the end of the day here, if I were in this segment of just shopping for something, and I could afford the Hybrid Max version or even the other versions of this, but especially the Hybrid Max is extra fun. But if you're shopping between this and like a CX-90 or anything else out there, to me, this is the best. It has, the best cargo space, basically. It's going to have the best efficiency, with either any of the motors you go with. If you're looking for efficiency, you have that with the Hybrid and the Hybrid Max here. It has the nice, easy touchscreen, all of the luxury features you could want, all the safety features you could want, all the tech you could want. It has it all, really. And so, to me, it's just kind of unbeatable right now. And, pricing, yeah, for this one is expensive, getting up to about, like I said, almost $60,000. But if you're going for a regular gas platinum, it's going to be very comparable to all the other stuff, like a fully loaded Telluride, Palisade, or all, right around 53 grand or so, which is around where this falls as well. And so, I think that they price it very competitively, and it just comes out basically on top in every single way that I think truly matters. yes, if you're going to be, you know, really flying around corners and stuff, the CX-90 is going to feel a little bit better. And the CX-90 does also have the plug-in hybrid version. So if you truly want a more electrified experience, Mazda still does have the upper hand there with the plug-in hybrid version of the CX-90, which will give you actual real electric range, enough for many people's regular commutes, you know, and that's really huge too. So Mazda still does have some advantages there, and I still think that is, you know, a strong runner-up in my mind. But for, you know, the average buyer that doesn't need the electric experience, I think that this is still going to have the edge over the CX-90 as far as real-world use cases and how people actually use these things. I think that this is really going to be tough to beat, and Toyota just did a fantastic job here with the Grand Highlander. But anyway, that's all of my thoughts here on the Grand Highlander. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Huge thanks to Toyota for providing me here with this vehicle to review for you guys today. Yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Please also leave a like and subscribe to keep these videos coming, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.